Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at a rank 1 in the world team with a Giratina Origin. Honestly, out of all things, I did not expect that this would be happening, that Giratina Origin would be able to get up to rank 1 in the world again. But apparently, this team here works out insanely well. I had also a lot of success with it, and with the recent meta shift, this Pokemon actually has a lot of play. Especially, of course, against Pokemon like Urshifu, you're actually going to be able to completely hardwall them. But even against Pokemon like Zacian and Zamazenta, you actually have quite some solid play against them. And so here we will see the close comment coming through from the Zacian. We can go for the full farm down. We have the Urshifu coming back in against our Rhyperior. They had, by the way, a Shadow Rhyperior fully maxed out. I only have my normal one here. I don't have a good Shadow one yet at all. And here we're going to be able to go for the Rock Wrecker Legacy move, going to allow us to do a ton of damage. In comes the Necrozma, which definitely doesn't want to get hit by this hard-hitting Ominous Wind. It's hard hitting because it's always super effective against them. And we should be able to win this battle here, hopefully with a Behemoth Blade against the opponent as well. This is going to be a Moongeist Beam. We still survive barely. This should knock them out. And with that, we should be able to win our first battle with this team, as the Urshifu definitely cannot do anything against the Giratina here. The second battle starts off fantastic here with a lead of Kyogre, which of course we're going to be able to kind of hardwall here. And they decide to still stay in here, which is interesting. I can just go for my Shadow Ball straight away. This is going to do a lot of damage against the opponent, and they decide to use a shield. In comes Goldengo, and we can use our Rhyperior here now to just shield once, fully farm them down. This is actually going to be a power gem though, so I didn't really need to shield this one. It would have been a resisted non-stab hit, so that's kind of sad, but we're gonna still be able to go for the full farm down against the opponent here, which is absolutely fantastic. In comes Kyogre, and it is worth it actually for me to use a shield here, because at this point we have so much energy on our Rhyperior that using that energy is just going to be a bit better for us. As we see, we got the shield back from the opponent, and we're also now going to be able to get a ton of damage onto them with that Rock Wrecker. And I can go to my Zacian in order to farm up a ton of energy there. I was expecting that they maybe have a Ho-Oh in the back, and that's why I wanted to swap out of here first. But they have in the back their own Zacian, which is totally alright, because at this point I have 2 close combat stored, and I should be able to win the battle with those 2 coming through, as we will be able to go ahead and go for the second one now. This is gonna take them out, and it's only the Kyogre back here, and we're gonna be able to just go for the full farm down with our Giratina Origin. So, next opponent we're going to have the Zacian in the lead. This took me a little bit to actually figure out that matchup, but you actually just want to stay in here. There was one battle, I don't know if it's going to be in here, it should be in here to be fair, where I swapped out after going for a Shadow Ball, which is not the ideal play. It just doesn't really make too much sense. The best thing is for you to just play out the 2-shield scenario, because you're always going to win this actually as a Giratina, which is kind of cool, because then you can realign yourself. I misplayed this one quite a bit. Yeah, I decided to go here for a little bit too much of a farm. I didn't expect that they would get that fast to their moves, because I know that Metal Claw isn't like the greatest move forward. But this is not only going to happen once, it's going to happen twice here today, as we're going to have the opponent's Palkia against us. We are going to be able to go for a charge move now. They're very likely just going to shield this move up. And so we still have our defense intact. We're going to have here the Orchid Tail coming through from the opponent, and we should be able to go for a close combat here at least, or maybe even another one afterwards. But I decided to overfarm again a little bit too much, more than I ever should have done, and I'm not gonna get the shield there either. And with that, the game is just over. I cannot really win this anymore. Just like losing 2 times the charge move there, all the energy, was a bit too much. But yeah, next opponent here we're going to see the Zacian against us again. Zacian is by far the most common lead that I've seen so far, so like, I'm actually curious why there are not many Ho-Oh leads currently, because honestly Zacian has been by far the most common lead I have seen in the Open Mass League. So yeah, I don't know. But anyway, we're going to be able to go for the Ominous Wind here. We're gonna get the shield from the opponent. At this point you can catch the move. I decided to catch the move here. This is not really ideal either. It's gonna be super effective now. Like, I don't know why I did this. But we're gonna get out the Cure, which I guess is alright, because now the opponent is locked into this matchup with our Zacian against them. We can take a hit here. One Fusion Bolt is not going to be enough to knock us out. Or a Freeze Shock, which I did not expect would come through at all right now. But we got to be in a very solid position. We can go ahead and go for the Behemoth Blade, knock them out, and they have Groudon in the back. And again, I guess maybe if I played a bit better, I had a bit more of a chance. But Groudon, to be fair, is a bit of an issue. Groudon is not a great Pokemon for us to deal with. Because, yeah, I kind of sacrificed my Rhyperior there, but I guess, like, Rhyperior didn't really have a lot of play there then anyway. So, yeah, Shadow Ball's coming through here. It's not going to do enough damage. I was hoping they would swap out in time, but they don't. They rather decide to stay in and go for the knockout here. I was hoping that they would make a mistake there, but this is going to be a good game. Very close one again. Maybe not ideally played, but let's move on to the next opponent. Where Palkia's in lead, that's really, really bad as a lead, but I swap out into my Rhyperior, which seems a bit weird, but you're actually going to be able to outspeed them with a Breaking Swipe still, even if you have like 1 or 2 fast moves disadvantage later on at least. You're gonna get to the first Breaking Swipe at the same time as they get to their first move, but here we're gonna see that they swap out into their own Rhyperior, which is a bit awkward, but I hope that they get the debuff, which I don't. I didn't really have a lot of debuff luck here for sure, and so we are a bit awkward here in this position. We can not get to another move, but I can farm them down with a Zacian, which is, I guess, ideal because all the charge was going to be resisted here. I'm not really too worried about what they're going to throw at me. So hopefully you are still going to be able to win this battle here. As you're going to see, the opponent is going to have now their Palkia coming back in, and we have our Behemoth Blade against them. It's going to be a very close matchup. Let's see on how this is going to go. We're going to be able to get the KO here. In comes the opponent's Zacian, and so I'm going to try to maybe, I don't know, do I have to catch a move here? I might have to catch a move on my Palkia. I can go for a close combat here. I'm out of my pack on my Giratina, but I can go into my Giratina now. I'm forced to shield once anyway. It's going to be Behemoth Blade. I can go for the Ominous Wind. I hope I get the boost here. If I get the boost, this game is most likely over and we win straight away, but it's so unlikely. But unlikely doesn't mean that doesn't happen. We're going to have here the attack boost and the defense boost on our Giratina, which means we can easily take a hit, win this battle here with a Shadow Ball. But I do think I would have won no matter what. I don't think that the defense boost boosted me that much higher up, but would have been definitely closer. Next opponent is going to run the Zacian in the lead. Again, you kind of want to stay in here. You kind of want to just play it out. Just go straight Shadow Ball. Go for like 1 or 2 over the Ominous Wind and then go for the Ominous Wind afterwards. You should be kind of alright in that position. This is a very alright matchup for us. Like, it's not the best matchup ever for sure, but it's a very solid one to play. You're gonna get here the Rhyperior out, and I can go for the bait. I assume that they're gonna want to use a shield here. I don't think they want to get hit by a Shadow Ball again, exactly. And so I can try to catch the move as well, but I get the 3 fast moves in now against the opponent's Rhyperior. Hopefully they don't debuff me the entire time. Breaking Swipe comes through, they're gonna get the attack drop onto us. That's not ideal at all. In comes another Breaking Swipe, and we will see that we can go for our own. Hopefully we're gonna be able to get the attack drop onto them as well. We do, which is cool, and so it's a very back and forth matchup here. Like, I don't know who's going to be able to win this. It is going to be another Breaking Swipe coming through. We still survive. We can go for our own one. Do we knock them out here? This would be ideal if we knock them out, because then we have alignment. And we can, so that is perfect. We have the Zacian coming in, and I can go to my own Zacian and go for the full farm now, getting a ton of energy here. And I can even try to catch the move here. Does it work out? It didn't work out here with the close combat. It is a close combat going up against the Ghost type, and that is perfect for us, because now we have a ton of energy still for the Zygarde. And still not going to be over though. It's still going to be a bit of a closer one. We're going to get a bit of damage in here beforehand, but I have to go ahead and go for the Behemoth Blade here for sure. Being the stab move, being the move that doesn't debuff me, it's the only way to go. And as we will see, the opponent is going to be already quite low here, but we have to try to go for the full farm now. Crunch is coming through, which means they would have had Earthquake most likely, but they tried to bait here, which didn't work out for them. Now another Crunch is coming through though. They are gonna get the defense drop, but we are going to be able to farm them down. They decide to forfeit, and we can move on to the next opponent, where we will face the Palkia against us. We have the Kyogre swapping in against us as well here, and we can go for the Rock Wrecker, kind of getting walled here, but that is alright. We can still try to fight back against those hard walls for this team. They can only go for a Surf against us, so that's alright for our Giratina, trying to get a little bit of extra energy, especially also then against the Palkia later on. This is going to look okay for us here. The Surf is coming through. We can go for the full farm down, and in comes now the opponent's Palkia. That is cool for us. This is going to allow us to get that Shadow Ball off, get the shield, and we will see here the Keldeo coming in. Let's see how this is going to work out for us. We're going to have here a bit of an awkward matchup. Our fast move is resisted, their fast move is resisted. They have some charge move pressure, but I kind of need to keep my Zacian a bit healthy, but also I need a ton of energy. The close combat sadly wasn't enough, but at the end of the day, it puts them perfectly into farm down range, so I'm not too sad about it. I'm gonna be able to get a ton of energy here still with my Metal Claws. I'm going to stop out of here trying to catch the move. It didn't work out, but I would still survive. No, I don't survive an Awkward Tail, do I? Let's see. I do survive an Awkward Tail, which means I can go for the Ominous Wind. I hope that they use a shield here, but I assume they won't. I think... Oh, they use a shield. That's actually really good that they use a shield here. And I can go up to 2 close combats. I win the Team Peter against them. And with this game is already over. There's nothing they can do. And we can just move on to the next opponent here. Close combat takes the KO, and we're going to encounter here in the next battle the Zygarde complete in the lead, which of course is a really bad lead for us. We can swap out of here. Hopefully we're not going to get hardwalled with our Rhyperior as well. We get some damage here onto the opponent already, which is cool. Like, that's definitely something that helps us out quite a bit later on. But as we will see, they are going to stay in. Do they have Earthquake? No, they don't. They have Bulldoze, but they get the debuff straight away. And yeah, like they were quite lucky here with the Bulldoze debuffs. I was not really lucky with the Breaking Swipe debuffs, which are, by the way, the same odds for each of them occurring. But as you see here, they're going to get another debuff, which means I don't get to the Breaking Swipe, which also would have been allowing us to most likely get a shield advantage there. But no. Let's see if they're going to get another debuff against our Zacian as well. Bulldoze comes through. Yes, of course. 3 for 3. Doesn't really matter at this point because they go and swap out into their Mewtwo, where I still went for the close combat to be fair, but I'm gonna play it safe, go for the actual move that would knock them out. But of course the Shadow Mewtwo here doesn't really want to face up against the Giratina. We should be able to go ahead and go for another Ominous Wind. Hopefully it's going to be enough to knock them out. I don't think that they're going to shield this move up. They do not. And we can, we would have been able to fully farm the down, but they're going to go to the Zacian, where we can still go ahead and go for a Shadow Ball at least, which is going to allow us to put them a little bit lower, which is cool. We have to try to go for the full farm down here as well. But it's looking a little bit dire here, as we are going to be in a position now where I don't really know what I'm going to do with my own Zacian here. I'm kind of running out of shields and health, slowly but surely. They're going to be able to reach another move here just in time. I wonder, like one more fast move would have not been enough, I think, in this range either. Behemoth Blade is coming through, and as we will see here, Zygarde is going to knock us out. And we can move on to the next opponent. Tapu Bulu in the lead. That is an interesting one. Guess who made a team just recently with Tapu Bulu in the lead, the Sesop of Rhyperior, and the Skelodurge in the back. Yeah, this is the thing, which is actually kind of hilarious, because I expected fully after seeing the Tapu Bulu that someone is trying to copy my team, and honestly I hear from other people who copied my team that my Skelodurge team is actually working super well for them. So yeah, I do think that my Skelodurge team is a really good team in the Moss League currently. So yeah, feel free to copy it. But I know that they have the Skelodurge lurking in the back here by seeing just the Tapu Bulu, because nobody else has been running Tapu Bulu anytime like recently, especially with the Rhyperior Sesop. And so what I did here is I aligned myself perfectly. I decided to go into my Zacian here into my Rhyperior now, predicting that the opponent would have this Pokemon in the back. Usually I would have went into my Rhyperior against the Rhyperior, but this just worked out way better for me like this. Yeah, I would say I only really won this battle because I predicted the opponent's line, which is my own line that I created. So I am happy about that. But again, that's the thing as well. Like copying the teams that I built there, where it's a little bit more spicy, they're more recognizable, so people could expect what you have in the back if they saw the video. But yeah, this is the thing here for me. If people are running my own teams against me, I win most of those matchups, to be fair, because I just know on how to outplay them based on just because I have like all the insights towards those teams. Here I don't really know how to outplay a complete hardwall, but that's alright. We can move on to the final battle for today. To be fair, Giratina Origin kind of surprised me. I did not expect that this Pokemon would be this good, but it's definitely still a very solid Pokemon to run in the current Master League. Again, it's the rank 1 in the world team for this season, so must be very solid. The synergy of this team is actually kind of cool as well. You want to have 2 cool answers against Ho-Oh with your lead as well as your Sesop. So like this kind of covers up the weakness of Zacian mainly. Bit weak to ground type Pokemon, I feel like this team. Like other Rhyperiors can be a bit of a tricky thing. Yeah, just generally Groudon can be a bit of a tricky thing. Landorus can be a little bit of a tricky thing. Those Pokemon can be a bit of a tricky thing, but otherwise this team is actually really good. I do like this team quite a lot. But yeah, let's take a look at the final battle. We're going to have the Rhyperior now coming in against the Zacian. Hopefully you can fully farm them down. in timely, like they decide to swap out of here. They decide to swap out into Palkia, which actually makes it a very, very tough matchup. I actually now need to get the debuff here. I am not going to be able to get the debuff again. Like, my breaking side luck wasn't great this video at all. But as you will see here, small breaking side is going to come through. We still don't get the debuff. What the hell? I don't know. Like, I definitely had like maybe a 20% chance today for the drops, but still, we just make it a little bit more interesting here by stopping out onto the awkward here, straight away onto my Giratina, and I can still reach the move by 1 HP. Would have been a bit easier maybe if we would have got the debuff before, but it is what it is. Good game to the opponent, because now we can farm them down, and this is going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.